let's do this. So, welcome to the practice. This is going to be like a continuous helping you of writing code, as you may have seen from the introduction. Today's video is me just helping you setting up your computer. The setup today is going to be on Windows 11. Should be relatively the same on Windows 10. I'm also glad I did it because I discovered there's some bugs that is wow. Another reason why I'm such a disastrous, not a big fan of Microsoft. Like, it really held me back for such a long time. But luckily times have changed and I was able to find a fix. So you should be able to write code on, what do you call this now? On Windows. In the near future, there'll be setups for Mac as well as Linux. But I'm making a very big assumption that Mac and Linux users should be able to navigate this fairly well on their side. So first, we'll start off with Visual Studio Code. This is a Visual Studio Code editor. It allows you to write code, it allows you to do well, you can write any file, you can create any file, but this was created by Microsoft to enable us to be able to write code and build whatever we want to build. So how this works is you would like getting started document, you click on it, it'll open your browser. After it opens your browser, it'll take you straight to being able to like download. So if I take it back a little bit, right? So I'm supposed to say just 2, I guess. So you see, yeah, right, this section here, Workman. This section here, download for Windows, right? So lately they have come up with these really cool things that allow you to be able, like the browser itself, the web itself, the website itself detects which browser you're using. So since I was on Windows, it's going to say download for Windows. If you're on Mac, it'll say download for Mac. If you're on Linux, it'll say download for Linux. And it'll be the same for all the other things that we will be using, like Git and Node.js and all of that, right? So now, if I come back, because clearly, awesome, then we have Git, right? Actually, I should just explain all of this now, right? I don't know, we'll see. Then we have Git also. Apologies, you'll be learning along with me. Then we have Git. Git is, we call it source control. Source control allows us to be able to manage our code, separate things, like have version control. Version control is if you wrote like a file and put hello in it, and then you wanted then afterwards to be able to change it and put hello world. Now and you wanted to keep the file with hello inside. Instead of copying it, I wonder if we could do that, right? No man. Near future. Hopefully you can follow along with my words. So this just allows you to, instead of making duplicate files, you can have one file and you can continuously update it. And once you're done updating it, you'll also be able to, what do you call this now? You'll also be able to update it and keep the past history of the file. So that's very much what it is. Clearly here, I was going wild. I was just showing you how to install Visual Studio Code. So yes. So when you install Visual Studio Code, once the installation is done, right? So it was busy installing. Should have said, wait I'm gonna move on while it's installing. But hey, so you would then go to the download button over there. You would then click on this, then it will automatically open up a setup for you for Windows users. Then you would say next, right? Cool. Once you say next, I've already installed this before, that's why it's asking me for that. Once you get there, after you said next and you selected the folder you wanted to install in, just use the default and just keep on clicking next. I also selected add open with code and add open with code to Windows File Explorer and Windows File Directory. So when you right click on things, you're able to open any other file you want with code, right? And I also said add a desktop item. That's just if you want to be able to see it on your desktop. That's up to you. Yeah, so add open with code, allows you to right click, open any file that you want to, as I mentioned earlier. Just click next, install, move on. This is Git, right? What I told you about. Version control allows you to have many different files. Keep the history ones. Again, same procedure. You have download for Windows. It detects what operating system you're using and it downloads it for you. So let it continue. It's downloading. So yeah, here I slipped up and I didn't notice, but let me make you understand. You will have to click here to download. Then it would start a download for you. Okay. So I didn't notice that until it was too late. I didn't notice it wasn't downloading until it was too late. So that was Node.js. This clearly works better if it was just code, but it's cool. So this is Node.js. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. This just allows you to be able to like run JavaScript code on the back end on a server, not in a browser. All of those terms and terminologies I will explain in the near future, so don't worry. This you'll have to install. Here again, because I'm on Windows, you click Windows installer and you click it and it will install. So now I'm just gonna go back and install Git because I realized it wasn't installing, which was click here to download. Me realizing my disastrous nonsense there. Cool. Visual Studio Code is done installing. That was installing in the background. I opened it, I just closed it now. Didn't want to open it by default. Now I'm realizing I don't have Node.js, another JavaScript runtime. As I mentioned before, allows you to run JavaScript code, not in the browser. So yeah, so let's fast forward all of these. Okay, so something weird had happened. The download, I'm able to install the download like here, but that just went and disappeared on me. So I had to open up my Explorer, went to download. So open up your downloads folder. From there you'll be able to, what do you call this now? Find Git and install it, right? I don't know why this thing was like that quick. I find that hard to believe I was that quick. Okay, but if I was really that, oh, wow. Lord have mercy. I'm learning how to use this in real life time. That's just amusing. I really hope this experience is a-okay for most of you. Sure, you can fast forward me, but so yeah, so here, same procedure. You click next. I also check for daily Git updates. There's really some cool things that could happen there. I also just said add a Git bash profile to Windows Terminal. So just like tick those two, and you will be good. Get next. What do you call this now? Just say next, most of them, until you get to this screen. Once you get to this screen, select use Visual Studio Code as a Git default editor. So along your journey, you might accidentally open like a Git file, and it's gonna open a Vim. Right now Vim is trending again. I don't know why, but that requires a whole new level of learning. Things you can Google if you want to, but just to make things simple and forward, just select use Visual Studio Code as your default editor, so we can just continue on as normal. And then next. Oh wait, here I changed it to override the default branch name for new repositories. This is just so that it could use main instead of master. That's up to you. Here I use the recommended, and also just next again, use bundled, use OpenSS library next, and then next again, then some next again, and then some default. Okay, so here the default is fast forward. Um, all this does is it just adds new code. I'm gonna give a better explanation in the near future. But actually, maybe let's just give you the right definition right now, right? So fast forward is a get method of merging, right? So in essence, it's like it takes what you already have and adds whatever you're merging into it, right? It just adds more. So it's like it moves it ahead, right? So it just brings you up to date by adding more stuff. Then there's rebase. Now the rebase method is it takes the old one, it makes sure that everything you have already in your code is the what do you call this now? Is what was previously there, and then it fast forwards it. So according to them, they say this is equivalent to a fast forward. So it's like if there are no local commits to rebase, right? So it's like whatever you have locally, it rebases it with whatever you have from the remote, which is like where the code is hosted. This is like GitHub, which I'll show you how to set up very soon. We use GitHub here. So yeah, cool. So just select the default fast forward. If you ever need to change it as you get better, all up to you, no stress. I'm not really pedantic about these things. And then next, and install. While that's installing, I'm gonna start installing Node.js. Node.js be installing. This one was straightforward. It's just next. Not really much to change. So yeah, so next, install. Cool. Now that's installing. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward this unnecessary stuff. So now in the getting started doc, right, there's another link. Oh my soul. There's another link. This one. This is for GitHub. This will take you to GitHub and allow you to install GitHub. So you can't install. GitHub is like as a web platform that creates a nice UI for you to manage your code through Git. What we just keep from installing. So you just come here, you sign up, fill out your details. So I think this can definitely fast forward. So you just set up, you install password, username, these reCAPTCHA forms. Hi, utter nonsense. So you go through this process, get the code. Wait, I made a mistake here. Sorry. I mean, you can follow along, like you can read what you have to do, right? So I selected teacher because I was just curious to see what it is here, right? How many team members do you have working with you? So it's just me, and then I said teacher. For the fun of it, if you're like an actual student watching this, like you have a student number and everything, you can also like get more advanced things from GitHub with your student number and your student email. There's a part where I ended up on that page by accident, but I will also just add that to the getting started doc for students. I'll just have to find it again. Oh man, there's another link in there, backpack, that is the repository of a project, like of an organization, the one that's like funding all of this, making this happen. So backpack Soviet HQ. This is where like all the code that we'll be collaborating together will live. So if you just click there and just follow the page for the fun of it, just to add more followers. So you just like follow it at the corner there. It's a new feature they also just added very recently. Now here I got lost a bit because it was like I wanted to help you create like a repo and then do hello world. So I ended up finding myself first. Codeband AHQ, that's me right now behind you, helping you getting started. Can also go follow me on GitHub, Codeband HQ. Should be the same on Twitter. I don't know. We'll discover, but there's Twitter over there, so it should take you to the right place. Awesome. So you can go ahead, follow that when you play around with it. Have some fun. I think now I need to refresh, right? Let's just realize I haven't yet realized that Deno isn't installed. I don't know how I thought it was. But let's watch me be a disaster. So this is the page I was talking about where you can sign up and get discounts if you're like an actual student. Or if you're a teacher as well watching this. Had some very weird teachers in what do you call this now? In university. But that's cool. Give me a moment while I decide what it is I'm doing with my life here with you guys. Apologies. Let me quickly go to that Soviet HQ organization. That first, the second link I made you click right next to the, what do you call this now? Right next to the GitHub URL. You should have also followed this, so you should be able to find it. So let's go back a bit. Right. So in what do you call this now? In the Soviet organization, there's something called book. You would click book. Once you click book, okay, so just in case for some reason you cannot find it, right? You can search for Soviet HQ here. Search for Soviet HQ here, or excuse me, Soviet HQ /book, like this. Search that there, you will find this repository. Repository is just like where all the files are stored. Then you would click on use template. I'll explain the rest of this UI in the near future, right? So like this is what we use for use template, because I made this a template. It allows you to like use this as a template and reuse this code consistently, like whenever you want to create any application, specifically web in this situation. This is the branch. So remember when we're installing Git and then there was like master and main. So this is how you can switch it or create new branches. You're able to search for files here. You can add files straight here from GitHub. Code, I'm not sure, but I think this opens an editor on the web, most probably. You can play around with that and discover that. Cool, so you would click, use this as a template. Same vibe, so here you would name the template, give it a description. You can make it public, so it's accessible by, what do you call this now? Everybody, or private. It's not accessible by everybody, right? So you can go ahead and name this new repository Hello World. I named Hello World. Also, here, just so that I'm very clear about what's going on here. Sorry. Here, this should be the username you added when you were creating the account. And you can switch around to other usernames. So like in the near future, when you join the Soviet organization, you should be able to have this also as an option to allow you to be able to like add repositories there. I look forward to you guys joining me in that organization. I want to do some great things. So yeah, hello world, create the repository. And once the repository is created, you can now we're going to clone things. And this is when things get interesting, right? Also, by this time, I still haven't realized I don't have, what do you call this now? Then installed, but let's continue. So now you'll notice that you'll have a new repository. It'll be your username and the name of the repo. And then now instead of use this code as a template, you'll have code, right? Because now we didn't create this as a template. We generated it from a template, so Repo. But now it's just a simple repo that you can clone, which we're going to use HTTPS for now. We'll get to SSH. SSH is much faster. It uses a generated token, and you could use that to simplify your life. It's just HTTPS. When you want to push code back to the server, it's going to ask you for your username and password consistently. Might not be a fan of that. or if you use the GitHub CLI that you should also see it. Okay, let's not get into that. If you have any other questions, you can always send me a DM. Happy to help. Awesome. So you copy it. So you click there. There was like a different icon there, and you would copy that. So if I just go back one, so you see how that icon changed? Yeah. So you click that, then you get the tick copied. Then you go and you search for terminal in your Windows. Once you search for terminal, you open terminal, and then you would, so ls is a Unix command that now Windows has. So ls will just list the directories, files that you're in, all the files in the directory that you're in. So I'm in my username, like my main folder. So now I'm going to cd, right? So I'm going to cd again, another Unix command that just like says enter this folder, right? I'm sure there's an actual proper technical term for it. Let's get it for you. Let's not make you be another me. The next cd command. Yeah, nope. It's fine. It's a built-in shell command, and we will get into that in the near future. So cd documents. Once you cd into documents, you see documents over there. Then you're going to type git clone, right? Like that. Once you git clone, paste that URL that you copied from GitHub, which you can see over there. Then we'll start cloning into a folder called Hello World. Now, once that cloning is done, you can open it by typing code, as you saw there, right? CODE. So on Windows, I don't know if it works on every browser, but on Windows you can type CODE space full stop, and it should open the Visual Studio Code editor for you. I really hope you're following along. It would be great. Once you do that, there's this new thing. Just say yes, I trust the authors, and as that goes, now we need to open another terminal in this folder, right? So you can open a terminal. What do you call this now? You can open a terminal within Visual Studio. So this is the IDE for Visual Studio Code, right? So here we have, I should change this color. I think black doesn't work anymore. Yeah, so here we have file, edit, selection, view, go, run, terminal. You can click on all of those and discover them. I'll explain in the near future when I use them in different sections of me teaching code in the future. You will pick up on these things. So what we need now is to go get to terminal. Then they'll say open your terminal, right? Here is all the files that you just cloned from the remote, which is GitHub, this here, right? This is all the files that you cloned. They exist here. You can click on them and open a new file, as you'll see just now in a moment. So you say terminal, new terminal, and the first thing you need to do is npm install. As you can see, I just typed it there. npm install. Awesome. That runs for like a few seconds. Can I move this thing? I can. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Let's move it to this corner there. Learning on the job. Awesome. So you done an npm install. It will install. Let's just fast forward that a bit. Yeah, npm install takes quite a while. I'm working on getting rid of npm install. Cool. So while npm install is installing, let's enter now the folder structure, right? So this is a basic template put together to help you build a web application really quickly, right? So .github, not really necessary right now. Node modules is this npm install that we're running now. It will install packages that are required to run this in the development environment. QA, this is where test files are going to be. There aren't as many yet. There's just like basic ones just to like have a QA folder so that you can run tests. Then there's src, so the source file. Then there's app, right? So there's the source app. That's just where the app will live. There's also assets and server, but we'll get into those in the near future. What you care about is pages, right? That's right there, pages. So you'd open up pages. Once you're done with pages, where is this now? Oh yeah, sorry. So once you open up Pages, see, new folder, you click on index.html. There, voila. So as you can see, I opened up app, there's Pages, and then there's index.html. Error and status, we'll get into those in the near future. Then it'll open up a folder called index.html. There will be already pre-built code in there, and this is what we call HTML, hypertext markup language. I have a timer, load shedding's about to hit. This was supposed to be quite short, but okay. So this is what we call hypertext markup language. Div is an element. Class, this is, I will go get the correct term for you. It's an attribute of the element. Ooh, coming back to me. And then as you can see, we have things like width screen, high screen, background black, flex. This is another library that's being currently installed here, thanks to npm, that we call Tailwind. I use Tailwind just to make life much more simpler. It's CSS, cascading style sheets. This is just how you style and make your websites look nice, right? So all of these I'll get into them as you watch my other videos on teaching you how to, where I teach you how to write code or explain and help you better understand code as time goes on. So as you can see, I added text white, so you can go ahead and do the same, and then just type, what do you call this now? Just write hello world in there, and then save this file. So another important thing to note, so this white dot here, this white dot means the file isn't saved. It means the file just was edited, so the changes have not been saved. So anytime you see that, know that the file has not been saved. Cool. You go ahead, you save that, and we move on. npm install is still installing. Let's just fast forward this a bit. There was a lot of technical difficulties. Awesome. Then the next thing after npm install is to run deno task run. I don't even know why I'm teaching you this backwards, but it's cool. I guess this is an important thing to note when it comes to coding. Deno task run with terrible documentation comes what I'm showing you right now. So you run deno task run. This ideally was supposed to run the application, but you get this error. This error means that deno has not been installed. Now you need to go and install deno. Awesome. Go back to the getting started doc. That will be in the description. That will be in the description. Yes. And there we go. There's that file. It'll hi. Oh, sorry. It'll be here, deno runtime. So it'll take you straight to the installation directory. They are fairly new, so their installation is still a bit wonky in the sense of when you click on it, it'll take you to the installation folder, right? It'll take you to the installation folder right here. Link. But now you have to determine how you're going to install this, right? So there's Shell, Mac and Linux, PowerShell, Windows, and then Homebrew, Mac. Your pick. But since we're on Windows, we're going to be picking PowerShell, Windows, right? Cool. So once you pick that, highlight it, copy it, either right click, copy, or Control C on Windows. So you just Control C that, and or right click, copy, go to PowerShell. Terminal also works. Just to be very specific, I ended up using PowerShell for this purpose specifically. Put that, you paste enter, and you move on, right? Now, so fast forward this. Let's fast forward this. It's going to say deno was installed successfully. Then me is like, yeah, it should work, right? Cool. So let's fast forward that a bit. New terminal. Just for the refreshing purpose, still telling me deno doesn't exist. Hi. But to confirm that deno works, right, go back to where you installed the terminal that you opened and run deno. If you see this, then you know it installed successfully. Now I'm gonna go and restart the computer because firstly I seeded into the folder to see. So I seeded into documents, I seeded into hello world. Also, you can write cd./tab on your keyboard and it'll type. So you type hello, like the first couple of words of hello, hit tab, and then it'll complete the sentence for you. I think I should also come up with like a keyboard that shows on the screen. I don't know, we'll think about that. Then run deno task run, right? So this was what was supposed to happen. It was running successfully, it's installing, it's trying to serve your site, and then you run into this error. So if you run into this error, right, this one here, the specified module could not be found on Windows. Wait a moment as I show you what happened. I ended up having, I first restarted the computer, which means this video should end because I was like, why is this happening? So yeah, cool. So I had to restart the computer. I think this is the one where I solved it. Yeah. So I searched for the error. This link should also be, oh my soul, I should have copied this link. I didn't copy this link. Cool. This link will also be in the description, right? So you will need to download this file. Actually, I'll just put this file straight. So I'll put the link so you can come and read and you can see how things are when you're searching for errors and you land on, like, for example, GitHub, and you see how the conversation goes. But I will also just paste this link directly, or this file directly in the description, so you can install it, right? Actually, it'll be in the getting started as well. It'll be in the getting started, something that you need to install for known issues. There's a section for known issues at the bottom there. Awesome. So you install that, go through the whole installation process. So I installed it. I'm installing it like that. You'd get this Microsoft Visual Studio thing, run install, say yes. It's installing. I'm trusting you know how to install files on Windows. Should be a thing. If you don't, let me know. We'll have a hands-on approach. This is a bit rough since there really isn't anybody, so if anybody wants a hands-on class, let me know and we shall have one recorded and have a proper class for people who need to like follow along. So yeah, awesome. After it's installed, you cd back into the hello world folder. So I never closed it, so I just reopened that. Terminal, Windows, ran deno task run, and it started. Now you have Windows security will pop up. Now I trust Node and Deno, so I just say accept public private networks, allow access, right? Deno is not gonna cry just now. So cool. There's also a known bug in what I just helped you with. So you would have to run deno task run the first time and then Control C and then deno task run again. So I ran deno task run again. So this time I just decided to show it in Visual Studio Code. A new terminal, right? You can also do Control Shift. I don't know what that character is, but you can see the shortcut there if you like shortcut. Deno task run, yeah. Again, Deno is also gonna ask. You just say allow access. It goes through that process. Let's bring this thing down there. Once the build is done correctly, a successful build. So run it as many times as you need until you see happy developing. HTTP web server access it at, and you would click on that. This is the moment of truth. You click on that. It'll open up a Explorer for you, and then you should see Hello World on your Windows, right? This is an actual website right now where you've written Hello World. This is the basics. This is the starter. But you set up your environment, and now you can actually build a web application and do amazing things, right? This is just the beginning. There will be smaller tutorials to help you get through things. The next one will probably be me building a habit tracker. I'm currently building a habit tracker, and I think I'm going to read the book Atomic Habits just to have a good selling point as why I'm building a habit tracker. But I'm building a habit tracker, and I will do a step by step on how you can build your own, and that should also teach you the basics of like building your application. So yeah, so that is what I could say getting started. Hope you had some fun. It was up and down. I'm learning. I think like now I think this video will be updated in I think 3 months with a better setup. This is rough in beginning. So yeah, no. But thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you were able to follow along. If you were not able to follow along, ping me on Twitter or wherever. It doesn't matter if it's publicly or privately. I go, it doesn't work, you dumbass. I wasn't able to do it. And I shall be readily and eager to help you with any questions that you have. So yeah, that is the first episode, or is it episode 00, setting up your environment with the code bender. Hope you had some fun. Please subscribe, follow, like. I'm getting used to this. Subscribe and like this video page, and we shall have a good time. But yeah, thank you, and to the next episode.